Yo guys, what is good and welcome back on the channel. Now in today's video we're gonna review the Make Believe collection from Dirkey. And first of all we're gonna look at the pricing, we're gonna give you a general overview of the kit. Then we're gonna test out a few of the sounds, we're just gonna go through all the kits, show you what's in there. And then we're obviously gonna put the kit to the test, do a quick cookup where we make a beat with the kit. And then I'm also gonna play you 2 demo beats I did last night with the kit. I already used it a little bit. And in the end I'm gonna give you my final thoughts and share my opinion with you, what I personally think about the kit. Never think that you should actually spend your money on this. Now, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so we're now on the website. This is what it looks like. It's 50 euros, the whole kit. It contains the drum library, so basically just a drum kit with 150 plus sounds, a sample library, melody loops, core compositions, starters, some soundscapes, so some sound effects, background noise, some stuff like this, and also some FL Studio themes. I'm also going to show you how these look in a minute. Now I'm going to talk about the pricing a little bit later in the video. Just keep in your head, it's $50, 50 euros, whatever currency is. So stay to the end to find out if this is actually good value and if it's actually worth it. We're going to dive into this in a minute. But before we do any of this, I actually want to show you what the sounds in the kit are like. So I'm just going to pull it up. This is the drum library. Got some 808s. Claps, cymbals, hi-hats, open hats, percussion, and snares. So as you can see, you really know crazy sound categories, but every sound that you have is useful in my opinion, and almost none of these sounds are recycled. I don't think that besides the spins and some other standard sounds, there's any recycled sounds in here. Obviously every trap sound tends to sound a little bit similar, but the drum library overall is definitely the focus of this kit and is really high quality. Now the sample library has almost 30 samples. I'm gonna play you a few of them in a minute as well. Something I instantly hated when I opened this up is that all of these sounds are MP3 files only. And don't get me wrong, you can work with MP3s, it's totally fine. If you send out loops for placements and stuff, you probably want to send them out as MP3s because that's just smaller and not everyone has space on their PC and stuff. But if I pay 50 euros for a kit, I want to have at least the option to choose between MP3s and waves, because wave files are high quality. So in a kit like this that you purchase where you put money into it, I would definitely like to see wave files as a standard. Now besides the loops being MP3s, they are already fire. They're basically what makes the Dirkey sound be the Dirkey sound. I really like them. Yeah, nothing to complain about. Obviously you have stems in every loop. The only thing you gotta keep in mind is that these loops are not royalty free, so they're actually 50-50 like any other loops that people send out. So yeah, you don't get to keep all the money off your beat sale. By the way, the same goes for these core compositions. So if you use any of these starters and you make a beat with it, you also owe Dirkey 50% of the royalties. That's how he states it in the license, and I think this is definitely more debatable because when you use a starter, you usually cook up a completely new loop with it, and then you also finish the beat and put drums on top. It's definitely not like Dirkey did half of the beat. You just did like a little starter, a little idea, and then you took it, made a melody out of this, and then did a beat. I think 25 or 30% for these core compositions would be definitely fair, but 50% a little too much in my opinion. Now let's jump over to FL Studio and I'm gonna show you the FL Studio themes really quick. Now if you don't know how to install custom FL Studio templates, Dirkey also put some instructions into this, one for PC and one for Mac, and he tells you in what folder you should put these themes so they show up inside FL Studio. So this is what the Dirkey template looks like. It's really dark, really grungy, and the only thing that really changes is the accent color. So all the templates look basically the same, and you just look at the rack up here. You just see how that color is changing every time I switch to preset. But there's really not that big of a difference between all these templates. It's the same thing, just with different color accents. It is cool, but just taking this dark preset and editing the colors isn't that much of a deal. Now with all of this out of the way, I would say it's time to get started with my beat. Alright, I think we now add our own bass to this. So, actually gonna use one of my bass sounds from my own kit. Yeah, this fuel one always slaps. Now for the drums, we're obviously gonna come back to the drum kit of the Dirkey sound kit. So yeah, just gonna select some clean sounds and then make some hard trap drums. Right, so here's my opinion on the drum kit. The sounds are really clean, most of them are really usable, and there's plenty of sounds in here, over 150. All of them high quality, almost no recycled sounds. I'm gonna tell you there's like a few things that are sound super similar to really popular sounds that you call recycled, but besides this, and the Spins 808 obviously, there's not really any recycled sounds in here. Now, two kinds of sound kind of bother me, or are not what I would use in a drum kit like this, and they're really important. So the first is the 808s, and there's a lot of 808s in here. A lot of them are also creative and sound cool, and they're definitely not the sounds that you would usually use, but they only fit like certain like niche. So most of them are not really that distorted, which is something I like to have in my 808s, and if I try to distort them, they don't sound as good anymore, or not good at all actually. There's also some super distorted sounds in here, like this one. Like these subs are all super distorted, but I can't use them as an 808. Same thing goes for the kicks, and especially on how the kicks and the 808s interact, because these kicks sound creative and cool, and most of them also are really good, but with what I've experienced so far, most of them don't really cut through the mix all that often, and it's like it doesn't matter how much I boost them, with the 808 together they don't really hit as good, and then when they're on their own they're just pretty loud and distorted because I put them up so high. I also did two beats that I'm gonna play right now where I used the sample of the kit, so you can also see how the sample sounded in context. This is the first one. Then we also got this beat. It's a lot more aggressive. Also, all the drum sounds that you hear are from the Dirkey sound kit. The only sounds that are not from his kit is this riser and the main 808 that I used, so 808-1. The rest is everything from the Dirkey sound kit. Alright, so I think you get the idea with these two beats. I just want to show them to you to have like an idea of what you can actually achieve, what is realistic to do with these sounds, and that you can do super hard trap beats as well as these, you know, bouncy mellow type beats as the first one was. So really versatile. The only thing that is really bothering me, and this is where we are at the final thoughts and at the end of the video, the only thing that is really bothering me is the price, and that is 50 euros. Because I feel like for 20 bucks this would be a no-brainer. For 25 it would be at a valuable price still, where I would buy this and think, yeah, this is some good value even compared to different kits. At 30 bucks it would still be okay, and from 40 upwards I would just say it's just overpriced for what it does. Because don't get me wrong, these sounds are good, the melodies are cool, but the melodies are not royalty free, so you still have to pay, you know, 50-50 to Dirkey. These drum sounds, even though they're good, there is nothing really special in here. There's nothing, like the FL Studio themes are probably, that's what's the most special about this kit, but besides that, there's nothing really in here that screams, by me, I'm better than other kids, you know. There's not really like, there's not a ton of sounds in there. They are not crazy sounds that you never heard before. I don't know, like crazy effects. There's something like actual effects for your beats is missing, which I would have loved to see in here, because it always makes beats so much more interesting. Yeah, there's nothing really that sticks out to me and that screams, yeah, this is good. The FL Studio themes, they are cool, but they're not 12 different FL Studio themes. They're just, you know, 12 different colors of the same theme. So I don't know what to say about this. But at the same time, I did 3 beats that I really liked that instantly put me into the flow and got me back working at my beats after, to be honest, a long pause of making beats and good beats. And I cooked up these 2 beats I just showed you within like an hour or so. So super quick, really inspiring process. And maybe that is something that you need in a kit, that it just inspires you to make some good music, even though on paper it doesn't have the best, I don't know, the most sounds, the best sounds, the rarest sounds, whatever it is, but if it inspires you to make good music. So I kind of have a mixed opinion on this. Great for what it does, would be really good if it was cheaper, but at the same time, if you're not a Dirkey fan, if you're not, you know, want to support him or like his videos and want to give something back to him, or if you're not looking for his exact sounds, I don't think that this is the best sound kit you would get at this price. So I think this is my review. Big shout out to Dirkey for sending over the kit for the review. Really appreciate that, man. This whole video wouldn't have been possible without this. So yeah, shout out, keep up the good work. Definitely excited to see some more kit releases in the future. Hopefully not again in 1.5 years, but rather in some shorter time. So with all that being said, see you guys in the next video. Bye.